to want to improve. You know, after I've gone to the gym for an hour and a half, I always feel like I can sit down and play games for a long period of time. You know, if I don't do that physical aspect, then sometimes I feel like I have a bit of pent up energy, or maybe I feel a bit lazy. I always think of the best strats and the best things that we can do to improve when I'm at the gym, because it's just the best place to have my mind wander. And I really need that, especially being, you know, a competitive gamer or a streamer. You don't get a lot of that kind of downtime. It is very mentally active. So it's really important for me physically and mentally to do that. Even the best players with bad mindset will not go very far. It's all about how you approach it. You need to play purely with the mindset of trying to improve, which means taking responsibility for all of your mistakes. Don't blame the game. Don't blame how other people play. Take full responsibility. Think about how you could have done it better and work on your weaknesses. It's all about mindset. The most important thing to look for isn't necessarily what's in the fight. So a lot of people will say, I died because my pump didn't do as much damage, or because he had more traps than me, or something like that. You have to take a step back and you have to look at what happened to get into the fight. So like, you might have rotated into somebody who had 2 traps in the late game. It's a moving zone, but you need to look before that and you say, how could I have rotated better to avoid the fight in the first place? Because those kind of rotations, those ways that you can avoid those unfavorable scenarios, that's how you're going to be consistent. I'm super looking forward to New York and the rest of the week at the qualifiers. Good luck to everyone who's playing. Remember, you do have multiple chances, but the most important thing is to visualize yourself winning. Visualize the success and visualize what it looks like to get to that success. I'm keen to see who else is going to be coming to New York from OC and from other regions as well. It's going to be super awesome.
Week 4. We're about to record and see whatever the heck is going on with this event. That's me. That's me. That's me. That's me. Monster. Sundown. Wait, this way. Wait, Dr. Lupo. Pow. Where's going with Pow?
Guys, we got the couch, all right? The timer. It's going down. We got the Sundown. We got the Monster. On the LED wall, we got the Dr. Loops. He's getting ready. He's coming down to the wire. We're gonna see what's going on with this event.
What do you guys think is gonna happen?
I don't know, honestly. We were there for the Infinity Blade. We were there for the Boombox. Who knows?
Could it be another Infinity Blade?
So we're probably gonna get like some new POIs, or maybe a POI, and we might, and we're gonna get some unvaulted items. I hope we get the grappler back.
Think about that real quick. Just think about that. Thank you. Are you thinking about it? Sick. Thinking about it. Sick, dude.
It's almost time.
Might as well go in.
Might as well just go for it, dude.
Oh. Is this the plane? Go in?
Yo.
Oh my God. Oh.
I'm going in. I'm in.
You're in another dimension. This is the vault.
Go for the grappler! Not the plane! Get away! Get away from the truck gun! Are you kidding? Get away from the truck gun! Yo, don't go to the Infinity Blade! Oh dear God!
Oh my God!
Ah!
No!
Where's it going?
Say Fatal Fields!
Oh!
Yeah! Yes! No.
Yes!
Oh!
Oh!
Oh my God!
Polar just got decimated.
Not fatal!
My
Not
God.
fatal! Not fatal! Anything but fatal!
That's tilted, bro.
There's 3!
Ah! Bye-bye, tilted.
Yes! Fatal still stands! Fatal still stands! Yes! Fatal fails, baby! You ain't never getting rid of it! Woo!
So Becca is not only talented with graphics,
She makes little baby elephants. The whole family's here. All right,
How do I look? See, guy look good?
Yeah.
Cool. What's up, everyone? My name is Squints. I'm the in-game producer for the Fortnite World Cup. I'm here to kind of talk about how the observing works. So currently the observer team has about 13 people working on it. We're actually split up into 3 different teams. We have the front line that is working, cutting the show together for you guys actively, and is actually what everything you guys are seeing. And then on the other end, we have 2 teams of 5 observers each, Alpha and Bravo, and they are working together in 2 separate replay files to basically curate all the content and action that you guys will actually see in game that the higher level is putting together for you guys in the show. And That's how we're actually able to hop from game to game, because we have 2 separate teams working on 2 separate replay files at any given time.
Who better talk about it than Dr. Lupo and Monster D-Face? Gentlemen, I envy you because you're gonna have some incredible games ahead of you.
Man, that looks really good there.
Oh, hey, you want some?
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, let's go.
Delicious? That's fantastic.
On 3, fresh and fly. 1, 2, 3, fresh and fly.
The future is yours in Season 9. In addition to all new gameplay, new locations, and new challenges, there's a brand new Battle Pass. When you first buy the pass, you'll immediately get 2 outfits, Sentinel and Rocks, a progressive with new dual axes. And if you opt in for the Battle Bundle, you'll instantly get this guy. Plus, there are new high-tech wraps, mechanized pets, emotes, and more to earn throughout the Battle Pass. At Tier 100, you'll unlock a new progressive outfit, Vendetta. Remember, you keep all the rewards you earn after the season ends. New to this season's Battle Pass are Fort Bites. Use clues to earn and locate hidden pickups around the island, helping you unlock rewards and uncover the secrets of Season 9. The Season 9 Battle Pass is available right now for just 950 V-Bucks. So drop in and get juiced up for a brand new season.
Jump on and drop in. It's time to kick off the Fortnite World Cup competition. From April 13th to June 16th, we'll be running Fortnite World Cup Online Opens, where you can qualify to compete for your chance at a piece of the $30 million prize pool. But how will these work, you ask? Each week will alternate back and forth between solos and duos competition, with players qualifying from each server region in Oceania, Asia, Europe, Brazil, NA East, and NA West. To find specifics for your server region, go to fortnite.com/World Cup. To play in the online opens, you'll need to compete in the new Arena mode, an always-on form of competition where players can rank up tiers and leagues. It all starts in the Open League, and when players earn 125 points, they'll advance into Contenders League. After that, you'll need to build your way up to 300 points to unlock Champion League, where the Saturday online open players will be chosen. Then, we'll take the top 3,000 solo players or 1,500 duos from that Saturday's semifinals and advance them to the Sunday finals. Each Sunday, 20 players will rise to the top and qualify to join us in New York for the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Buckle up, because we're officially on the road to the Fortnite World Cup Finals.
bam! We are here in week 5 of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open. I'm Zeke, and you know we've got the best crew in the biz. We've got Kitty Plays, we've got Courage JT, Balla TW, PookieFace_ Sundown, and we are here on Mother's Day to bring you all the finals action. Now, if you've been watching the show, you know exactly how things go. We'll start with the schedule, Oceania and Asia have already concluded their games. Europe will be hopping into. Later on, we'll take a look at Brazil with some replays out of Oceania and Asia, NA East, and then we'll wrap the day with NA West. Now, the format, you know it, you love it. Top 25, top 15, top 5 in Victory Royale are all the placement thresholds, with each elim being a single point. Now, there's $1 million at stake every weekend in the finals, and that is not the only thing these players are looking to acquire. That is the qualifying spots. Over in Europe, we've got 8. In NA East, 6. NA West, 2. And Asia, Brazil, and Oceania all have the 1 spot. Now, don't forget, in weeks 1 and 3, we've already have players that have qualified. They're already going to the finals. Today is another opportunity, another chance these players get to put everything on the table, play their hearts out, and potentially punch their ticket to the finals in New York City. These names, it's already stacked, ladies and gentlemen. We are halfway through the competition. We still have players that are going to be making it through. Don't forget, you also can compete. Hop into the game. You just need to hit 300 points, play in Champion League, and then you can qualify, and who knows, it could be you standing on the stage of the Fortnite World Cup. Now, of course, it is Mother's Day, so very quickly, from all of us to you, happy Mother's Day. We know you guys have been celebrating. You've been taking to social media. Right there on the right, look at Golden Boy. When everyone told me I was crazy for chasing this dream, she provided unwavering support. She put a controller in my hand, kept me out of trouble, and worked so hard to make sure we had food on the table and a warm bed to sleep in. I love you, Golden Mom. Happy Mother's Day. I'm gonna cry. I'm trying to hold it together. I'm trying so hard.
I love all the moms.
Just you guys speak for just a moment while I
love everyone's
myself.
mom.
Yeah.
I'm okay now. I'm okay now. So like I said, from all of us to you, happy Mother's Day. If you guys are qualifying, you make it through the finals, and you want to hang out and be interviewed with your mom, and you guys can go crazy together, we'd love to have you. And also use that hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Send us how you're celebrating. We want to celebrate with you. Now, we actually have a very special submission coming out of Mama Pooks. We'll take a look at this together.
Hi. Just wanting to say that I got your card for Mother's Day. Thank you for sending it. And I am watching the games today and enjoying them. And I love that you're a part of them because it looks like it's so exciting and lots of fun to do. I'll see you when you get home. Love you. Bye.
Love you, I'm gonna cry.
Oh my God.
We should ISO Pookie right now. She's gonna cry. I can see the tears. This is what today is all about. There you go. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Again, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Send us how you're celebrating. We want to celebrate with you. Now, guys, we're going to hop back on the finals train. We know Oceania and Asia have already concluded, so we're going to hop over here with Sundown, and we're going to see who will be joining us coming out of Oceania.
So, as you'll see, those leaderboards had a little bit of a sneak peek up there. Did wrap up last night around 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific time, and Link, the player who was able to take it away, led pretty much from start to finish. And one thing I want to call out, pretty much everyone on this list has been there every single week. And again, with all the changes coming through with Season 9, people were wondering who would be on top. Would new players rise up? Who would adjust the meta? But Link finally got his shot, was able to lock it up. We've seen him in the top 5, not only in the semifinals, also in the finals. I mean, all of these guys came to play. Oceania, a region where, I mean, the action is always intense because every single game is going down to the wire. And every single one as well, you see, it requires high eliminations and victory royales in order to take it away. I mean, Skyla, another player who was right up there and has constantly been challenging for that top. I mean, it's been very impressive the entire time going through. And you can see every single one of these lobbies, every single one of these elims is on another player who is in there, and they're all trying to take as much advantage as they can. You can see Link here from the high ground running just that rocket launcher and the drum gun, and then finally picking up the attack and then swinging down. But like I said, it requires every single elim, every single victory route. If you aren't pushing the pace in a region where there's only a single qualifying spot, when you can only get one of those spots in, and for today, that's Oceania, Asia, and Brazil, you have to get every single point, and you can see how he's hunting players, making sure he knows where they are, finding them with the RPG, landing those shots across, closing the matches out, and I mean, congratulations, Link, you're going to New York City.
Congratulations, Link, indeed. Now, don't forget, we also had Asia that concluded their games early on in the morning. For us here, we'll take a look at their standings and see who will be joining us coming out of that region. And right there at the top, man, Meta Peter Pan.
Yep, another one of the teams who we've seen a lot of. Sino also up on the board from Meta. Peter Pan just edging out Milfy. It was so close. You also have Awaken, who we've seen up there. And again, we talked about it a little bit earlier and a little bit yesterday. But the fact that there is so much change going through, there is so much up in the air with Season 9 happening, the fact that it's consistent, you're seeing the same 5 to 10 names always on that front page, or in the top 20. And the fact that those players are always in there, incredibly impressive. But Peter Pan able to take it home, a great performance from him. And it was, again, a super balanced approach. Normally, Asia is a region known for high eliminations where you have to be pressing the entire time. I mean, Milfy put out a great performance. Honestly, it did come down to the wire, and Milfy racked off some great games early on and was trying for it, but ultimately Peter Pan was able to close it out. As you can see here, how the Asia players are adjusting to that Season 9 meta, using the shadow bombs, using the drum guns up on that high ground, switching over largely to kind of that 1 and 2 gun loadout. But I mean, you can see here still, even with the 4 elims looking and tracking, trying to find whatever he can, pressing forward, finding eliminations, because again, I know we just talked about it, but when you're playing against the top 3,000 in your region, every single player in there is good. They all know how to play a game. They're all capable of at least making you work for the elimination or taking away some of your effective HP. But when you want to be the very best of the best, you need to be taking advantage of every single opportunity you're given, whether it's opponent gliding through the air. As you can see, Awaken there, chaining his shots together and picking up the combat shotgun. Those were clips from the top 3 players in Asia and Oceania. Those are what the best of the best from those region look like. But ultimately, again, congratulations to Peter Pan, a familiar name who we've seen up there and finally able to put it all together and have his Sunday.
There you go. Now we will add their names to the list of names of the players joining us in the finals. Congratulations, Link from Oceania, and from Asia, Meta Peter Pan. Congratulations. Seriously, mad props to you guys. We'll be seeing you in the finals, but don't forget, we have more names to add throughout the day. Now, very quickly, guys, don't forget, we are still in Season 9. The drum gun is coming back into the competitive playlist, and we have also disabled vehicles, which Sundown will explain why.
Yes, so as some of you are familiar, whether from playing yesterday or watching on the broadcast, there was an issue where when you entered a vehicle, whether it was a quad crasher, a driftboard, or one of the ballers, you would be unable to exit. There were some workarounds, but it was not 100% to be able to do it, and we didn't want that impacting either some of your favorite players or the players themselves going through that, not thinking that would be a fair experience and going through to them. So picking what was the best course of action, what we hope will give the best Fortnite action. I mean, so far from what we've seen in Oceania and Asia, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, there you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we know you guys are excited to get into games, and so are we. So let's hop into Europe. We're going to need Courage, JD, and Bala TW to see us through the first block of games. Gentlemen, take it away.
Almost fell right there. That would not have been good, but yes, it's the start of Sunday, qualifying day. Who will make it on through to the World Finals here of the Fortnite World Cup in New York City later on in July? Yes, Courage joined by Bala. Bala, in rehearsals I asked you, who is your one person you're watching out for today?
Yeah.
Who is it?
I'm looking for Mongrel. I'm looking for, you asked for one person, but Mitra and Mongrel, they're known for some of the best Fortnite action in Europe.
Yep.
And they haven't yet qualified for solo, so I'm looking to see, is this going to be their week?
Yeah, and just strictly because he hasn't qualified for solos yet, I'm going to throw in Mr. Savage as well, because I watched a video as we get on our way into the games. I watched a video of Mr. Savage dropping a 40 bomb
the first day.
In pubs, yes, it's pubs, don't get me wrong, but it was one of the most ridiculous showings of skill we've ever seen. Let's get into the European action. Keep an eye out for these big names as well. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Fortnite World Cup Week 5 action is now underway.
Right away, we're hopping in with Mongrel. He's got 17 points so far. Again, there's 3 hours to play. They can play up to 10 games. We'll see where he lands. 1 hour, 20 minutes left for Hughes.
And again, just for people at home, we hop in at around the same time in every match. But already, the first things you can take note of from yesterday to today.
Yeah.
Yesterday when we'd hop in, we'd have maybe 29, 30, maybe 30, like 31, 32 people.
Yeah.
Right now, 47 players remaining as Mongrel picks up that elimination from the player floating in the sky.
Yeah, and that really does make a difference. You can't always get to the desired positions because there's way more people. There's way more people also claiming positions, claiming the spots, using the mobility. Everybody making their way now into that half in, half out, that 5th zone. This is a critical time for their decision making. Where are they going to go? How are they going to get towards those placement thresholds?
Watching Crippa right now, member of E11, currently set on up. Spraying with this drum gun for the moment, putting pressure on the player nearby. Wants to keep him honest, make sure he can't make any crazy play happen. Does have a decent amount of ammo still remaining. Remember, no vehicles in play today, so for people that would typically maybe rely on using a drift board to get around the map early on, or a baller just in general, that won't be the case. And that's definitely gonna have an effect on the late game baller, but for people at home, what are the main effects you expect to see that would change in today's matches compared to when the ballers typically in play?
Yeah, you're definitely actually going to see more engagements all the way through because the players who are in the ballers are going to be fighting. They're also going to be rotating with you.
Yep.
So they're no longer going to be, sitting at the bottom, finding positions. This Crippa pushes into this box on the side of zone as well. You can look at the position right now in terms of looking in the bottom right. He has the zone close to him, so he's comfortable taking the time to go for that because the storm is going to take a while to push him out from there. So he has the time to take the roof, the floor, and go from there.
Yeah, when you get that much of an advantage on the edits of the walls, you kind of just go for it. Showing us right now, 2 eliminations up to this point. Actually builds or pushes into the storm for a second, takes 2 ticks for a rift, and that's, one of those trade-offs you take. Now, one thing to remind everyone at home, there's actually a hotfix that went out that tweaked, kind of the reliability of the combat shotgun, makes it a little bit more consistent in some of these areas. So wondering if that will affect again what is used today. The drum gun seemed to reign supreme yesterday, but we did see a good variety of weaponry across all the different regions.
Yeah, it definitely looked like anybody actually winning games was using a shotgun, whether it's a combat or a tactical. Ooh! What a catch there. Good reaction time. He's playing the Fortnite Creative Trials.
Oh, right.
That's for sure.
He's making it happen right there as that quick elimination is huge, putting him from 30 HP back up to 80. Obviously the shield there as well, showing us building on in 50 total builds left, down to just brick and wood. So metal's all gone already. How does Shonas play this? Zone now gonna push him quite far, and there's actually Mr. Savage M on your screen too. So a stacked lobby here to kick off the European Games.
And this isn't even, we're not even close to the super high point games yet. So, look at the top there. It's actually Mr. Mongrel himself. We just talked about him, not qualified yet, but he's such a strong player. He placed consistently in the top 20 in the last 2 solo weeks. So every week he's actually getting better too. Where is he going to land this one? Is it going to be in that top 8 that you need to qualify for New York?
So a reminder for the point values for everyone watching at home. Top 25 in the game nets you 3 points. You wind up getting towards that top 15, 2 more points. Top 5, 2 more points. And then a victory royale will be another 3. The total amount of placement points you can earn in a game, 10, plus 1 point for every elim. So right now, 6J currently at a 4-point game for the 3 points of placement and the 1 elimination as we push towards our top 15.
And just speaking about those thresholds, Mongrel did just go down after finding himself an elimination just inside of that top 25, so he did get the 3 points from that. 6J going in the box right now, does get the wall. That's Crippa who goes down, another big name in this lobby.
But one thing to point out, 6 points on average a match probably really won't get you qualified, which is I think what Mongrel just did right there with 6 points. So Not the big game he was looking for, but we'll keep an eye out throughout the day on his matches. 6J still building on in, now down to just 19 total builds remaining, 134 HP as well. And basically has tools to get into close quarters with anyone he wants. The drum gun to spray down walls, the heavy sniper to instantly break a wall. How does he like to play this though? Looks like right now just trying to spray him down from this height.
I love this little peek box right there. Just briefly inside of the safety of his box. Opens up that one corner edit. You can get so much visibility down below, but now top 7.
No mats.
Still looking. No more mats. Exactly. That's going to be rough. He does have the heavy sniper, but I don't think it's reloaded. Turns around, takes out Blaster. Good reaction there.
It is reloaded.
It is.
And now he's going to chase this player right into the zone, which I actually don't mind there at all.
Oh my goodness.
Another spray comes in. How about another? That's 4 straight for 6J from 2 elims to 6. Now at 35 points. Playing the low ground, having to break through these structures. Flurixon up above. Sorry if I botched that name. As the spray comes out, the drum gun, 1 tag right there. 6J trying to pop this mini. Down to just 6 builds. The player on the high ground with just 3. 6J the challenge. The elimination as well. That elim came in with just 7 HP. And that right there, Bala, is an example of a literal game-changing play for the rest of the day for 6J.
Yep.
That's a 4-point swing in that moment. That is the difference between qualifying and staying home during the World Cup finals.
That was a ridiculous showing under pressure of everything outside of zone.
That happened so fast.
It all happened so fast. It was just top 7.
When he just pushed that high ground there, I was looking at Flurixon's screen and didn't even notice he was challenging the height. Insane stuff. Sorry to cut you off right there, but the brilliant play and the power of that drum gun shown. Was there even a single reload during all that? I don't think so.
No. Down on low ground, we talked about his heavy sniper reload. Regardless, that's a good showing from him. Nice little backboard there from Clement, actually underneath the player.
Yep.
The player's box. As soon as it exploded, it blows up that box. He has to go down on low ground. It's going to hit him. Good use of the grenade launcher there. And that's kind of the effective period of the grenade launcher. Is going to be right about now. A few more opportunities possibly.
Yep.
Then it becomes very, very difficult to use. You see some very skilled players still utilizing it towards the end game, but it gets harder and harder as these zones move.
Max materials right now for Clement. Gotta be feeling good. Saw a drum gun down low, but electing not to pick it up this time around. We'll sit with that uncommon assault rifle with the attack shotgun combination.
Now zooming on over to the other side of the map. What's going on over here? Harkos. Very familiar with this player. He was the ESL Katowice Royale Polish champion for solos, and he's been playing seriously well ever since. I mean, that was a confidence booster for him. I believe 16 or 17 years old, young guy. Very, very talented at this game. Amazing player, really.
Well, I'm looking for some amazing stuff to happen because right now he's got a total of 15 SMG ammo and 43 AR ammo. This is going to be one of those moments where if he's going to take shots, he's got to know they're going to connect.
And I like, we see this cone strategy more and more often, and he's going to use it here to get this elimination as he does. Yeah, native X goes down, but I like the positioning of the cone. There he was in his own box, but there was a build diagonal to him, right? It wasn't directly on the side of it. So it's not as obvious that you can be in that cone. A lot of people are starting to realize, hey, if there's a cone kind of, you know, on top of a base, like by itself, like I can kind of figure out that there's going to be somebody in there. But if you kind of make it inconspicuous, that's what's going to happen. You're going to net another elimination. Good play there from Harkos.
Harkos now looking for the player just below. We saw Gobstar how weak he was, and Harkos actually decides to drop the assault rifle for this SMG. We'll see if it pays off here as he's trying to bust through this building. That's actually something we have not seen in such a long time. And what I mean by that is literally just using that large 10-bullet clip of the combat shotgun to break through that wall.
Oh, and the drum gun there, not going to have the time to pick it up. SWAT to the silent session. Oh, he did. No way.
He did get it.
That was so quick. These little split-second decisions are crazy from these players. Like, he needed to get forward. We saw it. We're commentating. It's easy for us to say, hey, yeah, there's a drum gun there. You should probably pick it up. But in those moments when you're so close to the zone, that is impressive.
Look at all that metal tarp right there on the left side. People just blanketing the sky. Yeah, Tom, unfortunately, when you're back and you're getting pushed like that and the drum gun is on the other side of that wall, you're not going to have a good time. Rifts being used. Tayron tried to reach it, not going to wind up working out. Rocket also comes in but does not connect. We're down to our top 30. There's still 32 players left.
Yeah, this is the 7th zone. Keep that in mind. That is ridiculous.
I did not even realize that.
This is the 7th zone. 30 players alive. We haven't even hit that placement threshold yet. 25 is where you get those first 3 points.
Man, the European region is really nuts, huh?
And you're seeing kind of the effect of the vehicles too.
Yeah, for sure. As remember, no ballers in play. They've all been disabled. Touched on that at the top of the show. Yarkos now moving on in, still at 126 health. Time for a rocket launcher, it appears. There is still 29 players left. There has been no placement points earned by anyone so far in this game. And we are in the 8th zone.
Hardco's doing everything he can to actually thin this lobby out so he can get those placement points. Picks up one more to do it. Yes, finally. Top 25 and the elimination as well. Hardco's putting his mark on this game. He's got 7 right now. Can he find another? Yes. Sheer goes down.
And when he sees that player stop and try to pop the mini, it's like, okay, I know they're weak. Time to go ahead and challenge. Getting sprayed now with the drum gun and returns with 3 headshots and the body shot. And now the high ground take with only, 8 total builds? Really smart play to bop on back in and grab that extra brick.
That's very key, actually finding that just outside of the zone. Look, he boxes himself up even though he has high ground because he needs to reload. He needs to reload that drum gun. Yeah, 15 people.
15
Final
people
zone right
in
here.
In the 9th zone. What do we normally have? Like 5, maybe 6? Yeah. Look at this right now. 15 people.
This feels like an outlier right now.
It does.
There's a ridiculous amount of players right now. And even still, final zone's moving in. There's a fight for high right now.
Back on over to Tayron. Yarkos now 9 eliminations, top 15, a monster game up to this point, challenging for more. He uses the shadow bomb. The drum gun just shreds Diner in 2. You see Tayron on the bottom right of your screen also with elimination. Yarkos continuing to put on the pressure, getting inside people's boxes, swapping to that legendary combat shotgun.
That player went down the zone too. Ooh. So this is a different one too. He's just getting fight after fight. Look at the amount of players on the left side of your screen right now. So many people up, and Hardcore is doing crazy things up on high ground right now. Players keep dropping into him. He trapped one, took another out with the drum gun. 7 remaining.
Another elimination comes in. 13 elims for Yarkos. Only 6 builds though.
Yeah, that's rough. He is on height right now. He realizes it as he starts to look down. No, he still thinks there's possibly one player up. And with this many people, it's difficult to actually realize. Now it's coming down to the last couple seconds here of that zone. Hardcore's up on height. See if he has a campfire or anything. Yes, it looks. No, he's going to go out to the side and use the rocket launcher. Does knock Tayron out into a trap.
He dropped him into a trap. He dropped him into a trap. My goodness. And Yarkos actually almost threw that game away.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed. He went to drop down to build a ramp and was out of mats, so took fall damage. Nearly tossed it away, but the rocket drops that opponent into the trap. How many elims was that?
That was, I don't even know. It was
game?
ridiculous play there from Hardcore. And very fortunate at the last couple seconds there, but still, all the way through, he deserves that one, man.
Yeah, ridiculous stuff. Did not miss for a bit there with that drum gun. Mitro, a player that you mentioned, to kick off today's broadcast. One of the scariest players in Fortnite Battle Royale. When he is hot and consistent, he's definitely one of the best in the region.
We've seen so many crazy plays from Mitro. The shockwave during the fall skirmish.
That was one of like the most 200 IQ things.
Yeah. Unfortunately there, right on the edge of zone, he's trying to make his rotation with the launch pad, but doesn't realize that box is actually owned. And if you miss your jump for just a second, guess what?
Yeah.
It's Mitro next to you. You're not going to get away from anybody there.
No. 40 plus players remaining. You hear the launch pads starting to get hit. It's time to rotate. And it looks like this zone is going to go right through the slipstream. So people built up will have to be careful. They either need to build above it or below it. As Tuck's putting in a great amount of damage with this drum gun. It doesn't look like that's held up by too much.
No, exactly. All wood, too. That drum gun could shred
through it. Those are 2 walls that he can easily remove.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for it. No, the zone is starting to rotate. No, is he in zone? I think he is. I think he's already in the half in, half out. So does decide to go towards him and get closer because he knows this player's low HP and he's going to get him. Nickel, unfortunately, Tux knew the situation and he's going to take advantage of it. 40 players now. Maybe not so much of an outlier the last game.
Is he going to run back down for metal? I think so.
Yes.
I like that play a lot. So right there, what we just saw is a sign of a player that knows how to keep their composure and also make the most of any situation. Tux realizes there's extra metal left behind, builds this high ground structure built up by metal, which unfortunately did just get rocketed down, but used it, built on up. Is that double rockets for someone?
Yeah, somebody, maybe two people decided, I want to rocket this guy down, because he is the center of attention for a lot of them. Guess what? He did kind of, no, the zone is across the way, but when you start looking at the positioning towards this first real moving zone, the one that moves totally out of the zone, it becomes very important to realize who are the biggest threats, who are on high ground right now. I need to take them out so I can make my rotation safely and possibly still contest for that high ground further on.
Oh, for sure. As we're watching Thomas, that combat shotgun, so many sounds in these late game scenarios they have to pick up on. And unfortunately for Thomas, getting beamed, no shields left, but does actually get picked up in a rift. So all things considered, probably the best thing that could have happened right there, huh, Bala?
Yeah. Right on the edge of zone, you just luckily get pulled up with the rift by somebody else, and there you go.
If I, like, literally in comp games when I'm playing, and I get rifted out of nowhere, it's like a celebration every single time.
Hallelujah. We're gonna go flying. And now Thomas finding himself in position. You saw one player landed directly where he wanted to land, so he had to go for his secondary option. Not a bad choice, because he's gonna net himself probably one, yes, maybe two. Yes!
Wow.
Thomas with the drum gun. And he's back to full HP with the siphon there.
Yeah, actually saved that last mini. And it's going to definitely help in the end, because that was the last bit of healing he kind of has for this late game. Rift nearby. Thomas, don't think he's going to reach it. As you see so many fights happening and players dropping to the edge of this zone. Who's up here on height right now?
Of course. It's Mitro.
There you go.
He's definitely known for being able to take height and then keep it. So we'll see. I usually he doesn't lose it, but with this many players, so many people can contest. He's going to take out Issa,
who was first yesterday in the qualifiers. A nice shot there of 65. Going to spray down this metal for the moment. Challenge to the high ground. There's so many players here, and here's what we talked about when he's so good at keeping height. Just challenged by two players, almost three players at once, and still comes out of it not only with height but unscathed too. Near max HP.
And it's now his teammate Tux on Atlantis going back to him. Holy Shadow Bomb, he's got to be careful. Where is he going to land right now? Still so many players gliding. That combat shotgun at range up on top. We talked about it yesterday. It's so good for that.
As now Mitro, shots coming down. 125 shots left in this rare AR.
63.
Yeah, that right there. I think we're seeing where the combat shotgun can be really, really useful and competitive. Look at how tagged up Antarak, Raluca, Driller, all these players weak at the moment. I think Mitro just missed what he wanted to do right there, huh?
Possibly, but he's going to go down. The slipstream kind of just pushed him out a little bit.
Yep.
Now he's going to start going back up. Wonder who's above him. Top 10 situation right now, 9 players remaining. That range is perfect for the combat shotgun. Can he find another? That player might go down the zone as well. No, he's just going to finish him off. Tricks. Fortunately for you, you're not going to get the placement threshold here. Top 5, that's the next one.
And this is what we talked about, when you've got to go for eliminations plus the win. You can't, you won't qualify for New York by just getting a couple victories. You have to find eliminations as well if you're going to be in those top 8 spots. Nice shot there from Mitro, player close by, putting shots down range.
He picked up the drum gun from that player as well.
Yep.
And you can tell how long he was using. Yes, he just took it back.
Oh my God.
Mitro, with low materials, he got a ton of materials. They're up to 25 builds. He was on 5 down on low ground. Got the drum gun, reloaded everything, and now he's on height with top 4.
And he winds up building himself far enough in to stop and pop a big shield. 190 health. Tux down low, just 3 builds remaining. Mitro going to continue to put on the pressure with this drum gun he picked up. 1 versus 1. Mitro versus Tux. Oh, nearly double the health. He's got height. All signs pointing towards this being a Mitro win.
For sure right here, Tux is going to try to force the issue, bring him down. That's not going to be enough. Now the drum gun coming in from above. Mitro, one-on-one situation. These ones are so tense. We've got 15 seconds till the zone closes. Wonder where it's going to go. Mitro's just going to take that opportunity that Tux gives him. He peeks his head out, and Mitro's going to take it out.
Mitro, what a win there. 7 eliminations, victory royale, 17-point game right there. And we talked about Mongrel earlier, who had the 6-point game, and how, you know, hey, if you're going to qualify, you can't get away with having too many games like that, even though it's very good, still 6 points is solid.
Yeah.
17 points. Now, if you can keep performances up like that, you'll definitely be punching the ticket to New York City.
And you can tell that the atmosphere is different in these games completely from yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can Mongrel with the 6-point game. I mean, that's not bad, right? Yeah. But you really do need great games. But it's so hard with the amount of players who are playing their hearts out to get to New York right now. Oh, Issa holding the stare at it there, waiting for Rexu to make an opportunity for him. Opened that window, said, I'm going to peek you, but no, Issa gets the peeker's advantage there where you kind of go for the attack first. If you're the person making the aggression, you're going to get the advantage, you're going to get the reflex before him. You're going to get the reaction. You're already making your decision. You're already going to shoot. On defense, that's harder to do. You have to react.
Issa building on out a little bit, doing the same thing as we saw earlier, realizing that there's extra wood behind, building a couple extra boxes. And we talk so much about it, but like, look at that right there. With how popular stink grenades are, for example, you build that many kind of 1x1s, a stink, you've got options. You're not going to be taking 20 plus damage a stink if you're in a normal 1x1 box like you would. Cairo right now, just a common tactical shotgun as the super close range weapon. Thankfully, as the uncommon drum gun, and here's that same type of cone edit that you mentioned earlier on.
Inside of his box, though. Oh, does he find this? No, that player's in. Oh, he did drop him in with the tac shotgun. That's an easy cleanup.
They were doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And that was so smart. Recognizes that the floor is breaking from up above, goes and edits through his metal pyramid to see, oh wait, there's someone still here. Breaking on in, nicely done right there. 3 eliminations. Look at this inventory. Solid stuff. 3 big shields, 6 of these shadow bombs, legendary rocket launcher, a bunch of AR ammo still, but gets caught off guard for a moment.
Yeah, but with the large shield potions there, you're gonna be able to heal right back up, but this wall gets taken, I believe. Jaeger, did he get it? Yes, you can see Kira edited down right away. Now he's gonna take the opportunity to get that shield potion off. And a moment of silence really quickly as he is starting to make his plan. Where is the next spot? Where is the next goal for him? We all know it's top 25, but how are you going to get there?
I will say this with confidence. Impulse grenades are some of the most fun items in the history of any game ever, and I'm very happy they're back, and they should never leave the game again. Thank you very much.
Definitely make for some crazy plays there, but he bumped the shadow bomb player.
Shadow.
That's crazy. You can actually have collision there. I'm learning right now. His ref's guard is going to make his rotation here. You use whatever mobility you can.
Oh, this is why I love them. They're actually so underrated with launching. I mean, it's one of those things where you have like your tiers, right, of movement items. Sure, our impulse is probably on the lower end of the tiered items that you'd want. Absolutely. But guess what? Beggars can't be choosers in scenarios like this. You want movement items, you get happy with what you have.
Wow.
As he is just spraying with this drum gun, needs to go get this ammo and triples his assault rifle ammo right there. It's a double drum gun strategy at the moment.
But it might not matter if he gets stuck in the zone like this. Yes, the trap comes in as well. A-hop going to take him out. But one thing I do have to point out there with the impulses was interesting. How to use them in this late game scenarios, using the stairs actually above him so that he doesn't go up too high. Obviously you can, angle the impulse in a certain direction, but that guarantees Issa actually using them as well. And this is another kind of impact.
Yep.
Right, of some of the changes in Season 9. No vehicles possibly as well. The ammo here for Issa, yeah, very important with the drum gun. The medium ammo is really becoming very important to keep track of. Where are you going to, find what you need? You got to have the shots all the way through towards the end game. Issa right now, got to find somebody who can gift them that. Top 20 now.
And only 4 total builds remaining. Sees the campfire, so that's like the green light to spray on in because these players have to be weak, and there's 2 quick pickups for Issa. And doesn't actually grab any assault rifle ammo. Wow. Can he get it off his body? Doesn't appear so. 3 straight limbs now into our top 13. So a monster performance up to this point. But now it seems all the focus is on him on the edge of the zone.
He is so quick. As soon as he started getting pressured by a lot of players from the zone, immediately editing down and finding himself a new layer to go on. Issa showing why he was first yesterday in the semifinals.
Gets the mini popped. In a perfect world, he's able to use this campfire, but that would just draw a ton of attention. Does fall all the way down. That's some fall damage too. No builds left. This looks like it's going to spell the end for Issa unless something magical can happen right now. Can't even use the campfire because he can't place a floor.
No ammo in the drum gun either. You talked about his 6 bullets.
All these limbs and no ammo was picked up.
even ran into somebody's box that he took out, but one more player on the side of the zone, he grabs it. No ammo still, only a little bit of material, still picks it up. Issa, are you kidding me? He's saving himself the game right now. You can't do this.
Was at 6 health when he got that elimination. Still on the low ground though is Issa. You see just how high up Illusion is right now. Oh my goodness. 848 small ammo, 0 assault rifle ammo. Looks like the rare SMG will have to be the weapon of choice right now. Dodges that shot, taking some storm damage, but it's not enough in the end. What a monstrous ending though. As it's now Illusion versus Deepmans. Deepmans on the low ground, Illusion super high up at the moment. Oh, Shadow Bomb.
Okay, quick drop.
Illusion just like that kind of swaps positions, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know how much I like that right there. I mean, Illusion didn't have many builds left, so had to make something happen, but now playing from the low ground, try to make something out of nothing. Traps being placed, Illusion pushing on through, dodges the one trap, gets around the second, it appears, but in the end, it's Deepmans who winds up getting the victory. Illusion had a height, had 6 builds, and kind of just drops all the way down. I don't know. That's something that maybe we'll talk about in a bit, but for now, though, we've got 2 of our very handsome co-casters, Zeke and Sundown, ready to break down more European action.
Thank you so much, Courage. We appreciate you, man. Starting off the day strong, and these lobbies, dense. 40 players in the last few circles, okay.
Yeah, what to be expected.
It's a thing.
Like one of the largest regions in terms of their competitive participation and in terms of the number of people playing. And the theme of what we're going to be looking at and breaking down today is the high rate of fire and then the execution of these players. We're seeing both the drum gun and the combat shotgun being put to good use. So first, we're going to take a look at 6J. And just one thing that Courage did note right here after the pushes of going through, he does not end up reloading the drum gun after he starts this run. So forces through using the combat shotgun when in the close range and then just continuing to keep the pressure up, utilizing the large ammo size of both of these, the 10 clip in that combat shotgun and then the drum having the 50 and then just running through and then closing it out with the victory route against Foxen. Brilliant there. Now Jarkos, his ability to run through what these low ground and mid ground tarps. I said yesterday I was really interested to see what happens in terms of the mid and low ground play when the pump is gone and it turns into players looking to continue to change shots and then pick new targets. You can see how the players who are more aggressive just keep going, and then they look to go find somebody else to fight. Jarkos doing a great run here, picking up his 10th Elam. And I also feel like almost every other shot he's hip firing with that drum gun is coming out as a headshot. So some really good aim coming out from him there, and just the level of aggression when he does commit to the combat and end up cleaning up these players is just absolutely impressive. And then his ability to close it out, just look in that situation, dropping down right away, traps the player off, doesn't quite get it there. But then as he comes down here, whew, this is close, so no builds left, tries to catch himself, not realizing he's only on the 9 materials and wins by the 1 extra storm tick. Now we've talked about execution before, it's execution himself at Linus Mitro. The one thing I want to note here, the shotgun shots were great. His awareness, constantly checking for the shadow bomb player, is what allows him to get this Elam. He knows this player is here, he knows that player is using it, saw the player early, and continues tracking him, boxing him in. So then Luca can't do anything, not able to interact, and then Mitro uses that Elam to get mats, get a drum gun with over 10 full drums worth of ammo, to then retake the high ground and run it out, taking the victory route. I mean, super impressive. We've seen Mitro all the way since the Blitz Showdown. Just a fun little story. I always love bringing this up. When we're talking about 3,000 plus points, there were a number of players who broke that barrier, and all of them were about single, maybe a little like 10 to 20 digits away. Mitro was about 140 points clear of everyone else, and I mean, the rest is history after that skirmish domination, and now we're seeing him work his way, or try to work his way, up this European leaderboard, trying to get one of those 8 qualifying spots today, Zeke.
Well, we'll have to take a look at the standings together and see how close he potentially could be Because right now, don't forget, as Sundown mentioned, the top 8 will be moving through. Right now, Snazzy, holding that A spot. But up in the first is Issa with 58 points.
About 58 points for Issa, so 10 points clear kind of the scrum down there, which starts to look like a pretty good cushion until you consider what has happened in the past. We've seen 20-point games come out right at the end. Nate Hill and Funkbomb dropping 38 in 2 games, so like it can happen. And you also see a number of these players still have 5 games to play. Well, he's already up to 7, so it can end up shift. I want to take a look also at the second page because, again, it's top 8. So all of these guys, the thing is, we flipped over one whole other page in 10 places. We only dropped it down 4 more points down there. So Mitro, still right within striking distance, has still only played his 6 games. Keenstar also in there, 6J, who we just saw flick another great Atlantis player. You see Andalex, who's been making a name for himself through the cup. So a lot of people on here who can play.
Man, I love Fortnite. And I know you guys are ready to get back in the action. We won't hold up any longer, so let's send it back over to Bala Courage to get us into more of these games.
Thank you, boys. We were just looking at that leaderboard and kind of, all right, man, Mr. Savage is right there. He's in 9th. But can we talk about Issa real quick? First yesterday, first today, and not just first Bala, but in first place by over 10 points.
And the rest of that leaderboard was so close, but Issa is far and away taking the lead right now, but we all know how much things can change. We still have 50 minutes for queues. That's a lot of matches you can still play. And after that, the remaining ones as well, so still a lot of Fortnite to play.
Darkarino spraying these assault rifles right now. Really trying to make the most of the ammo he has. Legit using the clips from 2 different weapons. Now drops the lesser of the 2, realizing, hey, I'm not going to waste any more ammo on that.
Doesn't want to reload that at all. Put any more ammunition that he has in there. Very important. Is he going to find anybody? No. Yes.
Yeah, there it is.
That is Tux. We talked about him in the previous game against Mitro.
117 builds for Darkarino right now. Only 43 AR shots, though. I think if I have takeaways from this weekend, Bala, it's going to be shadow bombs are insanely good.
Yes.
AR ammo is at its lowest points ever in these games.
Yes.
Because of the drum gun meta. And I think the other takeaway is that the drum gun's still really good. Those are my three that I would leave with.
There you go. And I agree with every single one of those points. And we're looking at all the qualifying spots in Europe. There's 8 up for grabs. Nebi was up there on the leaderboard. He's at 30 points in this game. There you have it, 8 spots in Europe. That's not many, but when you look at everybody else, it's a lot. So Europe has the most qualifying spots of anybody. But again, how many players are playing in these? This is top 3,000 already. That's ridiculous, right? Only 8 out of 3,000 are going to New York. That's not many when you think about it that way.
It's definitely not. And to think that the other regions have even less from each one, pretty crazy to say the least. Nebi right now, the big movement item in the inventory is a Rift to Go. One of the best things you can have in competitive Fortnite. Trying to spray on out with this legendary assault rifle. But again, with so little ammo, trying to make sure the shots count. Oh, that was
supposed to be a launch pad? No, again!
No!
So unfortunate for Zed.
And again, just please reiterate what we were just seeing right there for the viewers at home who might have been questioning why
there's 2 campfires being placed. No, he was trying to place a launch pad, but he couldn't cycle through fast enough. So he was just trying to cycle, and he would just flub it just a little bit. Not getting those out is going to place campfires instead, and he's not going to go anywhere.
And that's why, honestly, a lot of times you see players drop traps. I mean, sorry, not drop traps.
Yeah, the turrets.
Drop the turrets, because it's almost a muscle memory thing. And honestly, I know a lot of players got thrown off, too, when the poison dart trap was in play.
Yep.
Obviously, now the poison dart trap vaulted with Season 9. But when you just have, let's say, launch pads, campfires, and traps, you know your rotation. You know what you have, right? Oh, if I just have traps and a launch pad, then, hey, I either sit on my launch pad and swap the traps when needed, or I know when it's time to use my launch pad, I just click once on my trap switch button, and I'm immediately ready to go. Unfortunately, right there, gets caught fumbling. Yarko, someone already who we've shown a lot of love to earlier in the broadcast, still alive in this game, 41 points right now, did use one of his 2 remaining shadow bombs.
41 points is definitely in striking range. He's very close to Mitro in terms of standings. I think they're actually tied. So what can he do? Finds another one. That's going to put him up to 42. Where are we going now? Up above, outside of this dusty divot. And this is one of those elevation changes that's kind of actually uncomfortable to deal with. Even though it's not such a huge one, it's not Polar Peak, it's not a huge mountain or anything like that, but it's so sudden, and the hill can make a huge difference.
But also, there's parts of that hill that like bear over the edge. You can't even just go like vertical.
You can't run up it.
It's like it juts out over the edge. More shadow bombs picked up, so we'll use another one. Yarkos now 45 points, did just break into the top 15 for those extra placement points as well.
It's so crucial. We see how close it is in the standings. There's a bunch of players up in the rift right now. Jordberry does have height until those rifters come down and possibly take it from him. He doesn't realize just yet. That's the important. Nice shot there from Nebby. Walking into somebody's box, he's going to say, no, hold on. I need this space. Please don't come this direction. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to take you out.
Yeah.
My space now.
So Nebby down to just 12 total shots, builds. Pushing on through, one player nearby, and quickly busts through that wall after the edit comes in. Gets the elimination, but no materials picked up.
And the stairs there, right? When he went through that wall, immediately placing the stairs because that player was shooting at him, and the stairs actually forced him up above, so he completely repositioned him. Nebby was able to take advantage of that perfectly then. Dropping down, now the combat shotgun. What can it do? Pushing the drum as well. One player on low ground with him. Oh, he gets the wall, no, just barely misses that. Almost placed the brick. That's how I can tell, and now he's gonna get the pinch as well. A little bit of good fortune there, but he's gonna take advantage of both of those players. Struggle, you help me for a little bit, but no, I'm gonna take you out regardless.
Yeah, literally cannot build a single structure. Side of the drum gonna do all the work. One player on the low ground!
Nebby!
The snap with the combat shotgun. It's now a 1 versus 1 with no builds, but a dream. The shot's going up. Oh! And it's not gonna happen. Kinstar drops on in with the elim. Unfortunately, in the end, not able to make it happen. And Kinstar dances to celebrate the victory royale.
Man, that combat shotgun really looked like a heavy sniper there for me for a second.
Is that what you thought just happened?
No, I thought he just no-scope heavy sniped him.
Yo, that would have actually been the most ridiculous game ending of all time.
Oh my goodness. Regardless, moving on. Everybody, there's so many games going on at the same time. Like if you go into the compete tab right now, look at the leaderboard, you'll probably see a bunch of little red live buttons. As we're hopping into Mr. Savage's games, we saw he's at 31 right now.
Remember, we're keeping a focus on who might be able to qualify in these matches. And Mr. Savage just on the outside of those top 8 that you need. Right now with a rift to go, down to just 68 AR shots.
One thing I do want to talk about with Mr. Savage, they did qualify Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage in duos. Benji Fishy also qualified in solos. So Mr. Savage could, if he qualifies today, it makes it the first duo to completely qualify for the World Cup.
Yep. And here comes Mr. Savage. So much distance covered and actually immediately takes height on that far side. For the moment, gets into the zone. Again, only 67 shots.
Medium ammo, you talked about it.
And the drum gun from these ranges, it's not late game yet. The drum gun from these ranges is like, you're spraying like a whole clip in hopes of hitting a few.
And it's interesting, the implications of that, we're not going to see them on broadcast because we're looking at the games as they get to that half in, half out zone. But you really do have to pay attention throughout your early game, throughout your mid game, making sure you're looting all the ammunition you can. Every single ammo box, you can't miss it on your loot pad because you need it to do plays like this. Adrian picking up Exo. There was a little bit of a stink bomb going off there, and he focused him with it.
Yeah, nice little combination. Again, stink bombs, when campfires are going off, when a rocket's landing at someone's build, it's one of those things where it just attracts attention of everyone else there who's looking to kind of pick up the scraps of that fight and maybe sneak out elimination. And Adrian shows it with the help of the stink. Devil just behind. Lecce as well, playing from the ultimate low ground.
Doesn't look like he has materials either, or he's just playing these cheeky angles. 74 builds, okay, so he's just waiting. This is kind of like a bait. Hey, look, there's nothing on this side if you rotate this way.
What is it? What am I looking at?
Oh, that was so cool, Courage.
I mean, what did I just watch? That was 200 IQ right there.
Literally out of a movie. The shadow bomb jumping through the little cracks of Shifty Shafts as well. Lecce moving his way over. He actually took some height with the shadow bomb and then used the launch pad to get as far as possible.
Yep.
Take the best position, but this player, I think he just landed in the box with him. He placed the turret. So 200 IQ to break the stairs.
Oh my goodness. What a smart play. One of the most big brain plays you can make in competitive Fortnite. When you have control of that floor and you can place a turret down, it instantly destroys the ramp that's there. Honestly, whether it's your own or the enemy's, it just gets rid of it. And that was shown right there. Something that honestly catches everyone off guard.
Yeah.
Turrets are used like that more than probably for their actual turret reasons in competitive.
100%. And we talk about when people drop the turret, there's a few players who are still keeping it, and that's the exact situation that you're going to be using it. Just like you said, people aren't used to it. You can do it in this situation right here, just force it to completely obliterate the box and force the drum gun to be viable the entire way. You're not used to it. When you get the turret dropped under you, you actually try to play stairs and you can't do it.
Yep, it's so rare for it to happen that it catches people off guard. Wolfies, the elimination we just saw right there had big implications for the rest of this match. Wound up getting more materials, but the one thing that Wolfies winds up looting, 6 shadow bombs. And now 2 being used on this far rotation up the side of this mountain, where typically it would be very awkward. Makes it so much easier when you just kind of cloak yourself and shadow on out.
Yeah, we saw Nikov go down there just briefly. Now Mr. Savage onto Lecce. Lecce's gonna get in his box, and this could be the end for Mr. Savage. No, he gets above him. He gets on his own lair, but now the wall fight is gonna go. Mr. Savage right on the edge of zone, trying to get this mini in. Oh, the trap comes in. That's gonna force him away from the box. He's gonna go up again. They're so sneaky. They're so good at getting away, finding what engagements. But Lecce is tracking him like I've never seen anybody track before. He's out.
Dude, Mr. Savage is just snaking around these builds somehow and is not dead. Lecce down to what was 70 health, now 120, and a quick build up above. That rocket scared him for a moment.
Now reloading that drum gun. You know the importance of it, and he's going to continue to follow down on players. He does take out Shikuni. I think he went down to fall damage after getting the first tag. A recent change. Oh my goodness, the speed of these edits. The tracking that he has on all these players to know exactly where they are, and the awareness, right? It's not easy to see that there's a player in that box, he's gonna make the edit out, and then to know exactly which wall you need to go out of.
Yeah.
So right now, Lecce looking for an opportunity. Mr. Savage now as well. 23 HP. Cannot take many ticks to the zone at all. Where are we gonna go? Look at this, he still has builds, but he's crazy fast at getting away from people.
Yep. Again, just to reiterate, I watched Mr. Savage drop 40 eliminations in a public game. If you haven't watched the video yet, it's on his YouTube channel. It's already got like 2 million views in the first day because it's just the most ridiculous thing I've seen in months in a public game for Fortnite. Mr. Savage spraying with the drum gun there. Eliminates Marcus. 3 players in total, 1 currently in shadow form just above. Mr. Savage knows this, no builds left, and due to the height, it's so awkward. Everyone dropping on in, sprays down 1 the second just above, and it's Wolfies with the drum gun who secures the victory royale.
What a play there. Wolfies taking advantage of everything, but Mr. Savage went through a complete, like that was the ringer, right? He went through, he was getting chased by Lecce for about a whole circle, a whole zone. The fact that he got
second is mind-blowing.
Yeah. And really, you have to, the players who end up winning games like that, where you see Mr. Savage had that entire thing, that was difficult for him. But then Wolfies comes in at the last second. That's kind of good fortune, right? All these different situations, they end up and they add up into exactly where the game is going to go. Wolfies takes advantage there. Gets the 3 points extra from the victory royale, at 10 points total from the placement. So key.
Oh, 100%. As Issa, who is our point leader coming into this game, has the shadow bombs, a launch pad, not a ton of HP, but it looks like he spotted some healing out here and wants to make a move towards it. Can't draw too much attention right now, but going to overbuild just a little bit, and I like this. He's building far enough out to give him time to grab whatever he needs and then make a play based off of it. Quick little edit right there. Try to pop this med kit. Will the zone reach in time?
And that was a big.
And honestly, at that point, you got to wonder: do you grab the minis? Okay, looks like we'll hold on to the med kit for now, and we'll just rotate towards the zone. Didn't have a lot of time to be able to snag what he wanted.
I love that play there from Issa. He knew that he didn't really have the time to take that med kit, but he also knew that that player was going to be hot on his tail. So he didn't want to start shadow bombing our head because you could see how open it was. A lot of time for him to track him and find the position. So he used the med kit, baited him in to thinking, hey, I'm going to get a free elimination right here on the edge of zone. No, Issa immediately, as soon as he starts to eke his way towards, takes advantage of that. Oh, the heavy snipe comes in from the back. Good reaction.
Immediately building that second layer to protect. We've seen so many times how powerful a heavy sniper can be competitive. Obviously in duos, when you can pair them together and break through someone's wall and get a quick snipe, timing it well, it's a little bit more powerful, but still used very often here in solos. It's actually probably most used as, again, that universal key that opens all doors to break into people's boxes. 36 players left. No one has earned placement points yet. We're about to move towards this, sixth zone?
Yeah, the first full moving one. So start moving in 2 seconds, and that's really when, I say this all the time, but the action does not stop from here. It just continues and continues.
Oh, and Issa's gonna claim this ramp as his own as fast as possible, and then turn around and look to beam players on the edge of zone, and that's exactly what he'll do. Tags onto one. Does have players just above, so we'll see how Issa plays this. It looks like, all right, I've got shadow bombs, might as well put him to work.
Yeah, and you can see he's always getting towards that farthest side of the zone, boxing up and then turning around looking for shots because you need those eliminations. You need to maximize all your points. 4 elims in this game, and going for he wants all 10 placement points, obviously. You gotta do what you can get. All right, picking up Janice again. The fact that he's so far ahead of zone gives him the opportunity, gives him the time to look for these shots.
Brilliantly done. Showing why he was not only first in placements yesterday, but top of the leaderboards today. One of the toughest things you can do in probably Fortnite competitive history to this point. Mosh now building on out, no healing left, but guess what? With Siphon able to get 50 HP back real quick.
Great edit down there. Knows exactly what is going down below him. That's why you see when players box up just briefly, they look down, they look up, they look all around because that's where you find those opportunities. Watch him right now. Every time he boxes up, he looks, just barely misses Zeke there, but it's still gonna take him out with the tack shot.
Look at the damage on these tack shots.
Oh, the cone.
And brilliant Coda. Begin to play for this high ground. 96 builds available. Minis too. Ooh, gets right around the edge. The fact that he hasn't taken much storm damage is impeccable with how this rotation was.
Indeed. Off the side of the mountain too. He knew exactly where it was going around the side, and he just kind of snaked his way, just like Mr. Savage did, around in the perfect positions there. Getting away from a lot of players. You see Kripa going down in the background. Issa now pressuring on this player. He's taking the time to use the campfire. Top 8 situation now. So moving his way towards the zone again. He's looking for any opportunities. You see, just briefly looks up. Do I have height? Who is on height? Is there anybody with a huge advantage? Am I going to be able to take this? Or do I have the opportunity to?
Looks like the call is just to get ahead of the zone. And Issa will do exactly that. One player, just one box over. Beautiful tag right there. That wasn't even with the drum gun. That was with the normal rare assault rifle. And there's the cleanup. Matt's earned 35 total builds remaining. And a second drum gun.
The top 5 with that elimination. That's not just the placement points, not just the elim point, but 3 points. Those critical eliminations is what Sundown is naming them, and I agree with that. Very important to know exactly when those placement thresholds are. Here Issa now building out this entire layer to himself. He wants to get all the edits possible. He wants players to land on it, and possibly he can make an edit play on them.
Well, looks like it's down to a 1 versus 1 as I'm Dead Again just fell to his death. Issa, AV Pro, the battle comes in, the spray with the drum gun is enough. Issa, 7 elims, victory royale, 17-point game. And that's why he's 10 points ahead.
That's why he's at 58 points when we checked the leaderboard.
And that was, I think, his only victory royale so far.
True, yes. I think actually he was one of the only players, or actually all the players only had 1 victory royale. So it is going to be important. We saw how close it was. Those tiebreakers do really matter. So having the 1 victory royale in that game, and we saw Mitro have his own before, these are all going to matter when it comes down to the end of the leaderboards.
Yep. Pretty insane stuff right there. Brilliant performances up to this point. As we continue on through to another match, Phoenix on your screen. Looks like we're down in Dusty Divot if I had to make a call. As he will just go ahead and hold the wall right now.
Yeah, the stairs actually right in front of him. I like this little box that he has right here because he's covered from the stairs. And he has the opportunity to take shots quickly without making at it. Yes. Surprise people. That player, surprise, does go down. Phoenix. Good little cheeky little box play, a little
upgrade,
little peek, and then gonna find upgrades as well.
From the common AR over onto the drum gun.
Oh, that's a huge one.
Yeah, and deciding to stick with the rare tac shotgun instead of the legendary combat shotgun. Because again, it seems like for the most part, the tac is favored, but we're still seeing people use the combat shotgun, especially on the high ground, but then some people don't run a shotgun at all. They'd rather go with 2 drum guns. The SMG still being very used because of how good it is at shredding through walls.
You could see the difference in the damage drop out there. It was hitting for 9, and then all of a sudden the 42 headshot as he got closer. Perfect example of that. Nice play. Gets the roof, and then Toos actually edited his floor to try to make a counterplay, but no, he's going to spray him down with the silenced SMG. Quick damage from that. Very strong still. You got to remember, just before the drum gun was added, the silenced SMG was the favorite, swap weapon.
Yep. Yeah, again, that little bit of a tighter spray, just how good it is at shredding through wood structures. There's Mr. Savage M on your screen. Last we checked the leaderboards, he was in 9th, top 8 to qualify. So close. He knows how close he is. You can check live in game. Definitely makes a difference on how people play it on out. 25 seconds until the zone updates. 36 players remaining. And this is an example of where Mr. Savage's entire day can change based off of this game's performance.
Yeah, and actually I think this is probably very, very close to live because the last time we checked the leaderboard, he was at 43 points.
Yep.
So now he has the 1 elimination in this game, 44. So we're really staying up with it right now. Mr. Savage, again, we talked about it. Already qualified in duos. He's got to qualify in solos. He wants to so bad. I mean, everybody does. We know Mr. Savage has what it takes. Be in New York on that solo day, but this glider redeploy is going to be punished by Mr. Savage. Yes, that's Phoenix. We tuned in with him earlier on. A really, really good up-and-coming player.
And Phoenix was starting to get sprayed at by other people. So Mr. Savage, just in time, finishes that elimination so it can't be yoinked from him on that final shot. Uses the Rift to go now, still has 3 Shadow Bombs and a full glider redeploy for the movement items for the next couple zones, but decides, no, I don't want to have to build up out of this divot like these people are right now. I'd rather just Rift, get near height, save my mats for future zones.
And we actually saw who was on height there. It was Aqua. He was another player who qualified in duos. Still needs to do so in solos, but he qualified with Nyrox last week. On height, that means he's in a good position to win this game. Mr. Savage, though, down on low ground. Wow. Is he going to get it? Yes, he does take out DK while he was fighting another player. Unfortunately, not going to be able to follow up there and take Mr. Savage out, but 49 points right now. Can he make this a big one? Can he make this the game that he needs?
He's trying to do just that. Shadow Bomb used. Top 15 is more points. Mitro still in this lobby as well. Getting ahead. Look at the materials now. 115. Brilliant right there. Got so many mats off those 2 players.
When we talk about these interactions, Mitro being in the game, we saw him Mr. Savage take out Phoenix, who's up there in the standings as well. These get so important. These matter. Remember, there's not that much time remaining in this European region. I mean, I'm just looking right now. We got a half hour for queues still. So all these interactions right now matter. If Mr. Savage fights Mitro, for example, takes him out, that's another player that's not going to be challenging him on the leaderboards for this game. I think that could be him, actually. It's his skin. For now, continuing on, getting that 1 elimination and then moving forward. Oh, nice edits. Look, he actually went back just to see, are you still here? Can I still make a play?
He heard the mini pop from up above. Trying everything to spray him on down. Mr. Savage now at 52 points. This is now a 9-point game. Now remember, top 5 earns 2 more placement points. Pops another Shadow Bomb. And this is where you mentioned the grenade launcher really not too useful this far into the game. So yes, great. An 18 rocket grenade launcher, but now finds a shot.
Is the person who will make it work. He is so innovative.
What?
And he takes out Mitro. This is what I was talking about.
No
that
way.
matters. Said Aqua. This game was stacked with players who were 100% in the running for qualification. He just took out Mitro and Aqua back-to-back, now top 4.
Folks, you might be witnessing live why Mr. Savage qualifies this week for a trip to the World Cup Finals in New York. I'm sorry for anything I said about the grenade launcher, because apparently he's using it perfectly and making me look like an idiot. Mr. Savage M. Building on up, 22 builds remaining. The spray comes in a 72 tag, another elimination. Now 8 elims this game. They've got to go up the side of a mountain, and it's Shadow Bomb time. Look at how awkward this is. He's getting completely blocked out. He's deciding to take storm damage.
Yes.
Mr. Savage! Oh my God!
You did not!
Oh my God! Oh my goodness!
What a play!
The best Shadow Bomb use I've ever seen! Mr. Savage M rising to the top of the mountain like his plane will when this freak of nature probably goes to New York. Take it away, Zeke and Sundown. I'm gonna faint.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is that was crazy.
Oh, I'm supposed to talk now after that? So we have an instant replay. Let's check that out first, just because that was absolutely absurd coming out of Savage. So first, getting his angle there into the top 2, picking up the E-lip, and then all of a sudden doing his best GOAT impression, realizing he's blocked out, knowing the Shadow Bomb is running out, and he doesn't have any more. So instead of continuing trying to go up, goes out to the side, pushes himself up, and he doesn't know this, but his opponent, no builds, nothing left coming out from there. Brilliantly done from Mr. Savage, and we've already seen him and Benji Fishy qualify for the duo, so trying to get in. He's a player who faced a little bit of adversity the first couple of weeks going through for solos, like had a little bit going on, but showing up there. And just one other shout out, normally like I kind of make the running joke that most of the players running around on the low ground when the ballers were in play are playing billiards or they're playing like something else, they're playing pool. He was playing billiards with the grenade launcher there, finding absurd angles, whether it was banking them off his own builds or banking them off the side of the mountain that was there and picking up 3 elims from that. So hats off to you. Brilliant individual effort coming out there, and that's a great segue into, yes, I said it was a great segue, into some other brilliant individual efforts we have from some of these top players, the ones contending on the leaderboards. First one up is Nebby here, showing off initially the rifle skills, but honestly, he makes this combat look like a pump in a lot of the circumstances. He's hitting the headshots, he's hitting full pellets every single time, and then he's immediately swapping over or firing off the second shot. Not worried about it here, and super unfortunate there for Slide Clement getting pinched between 2 players with the drum, and then Nebby immediately turning. Remember, no builds in this circumstance. Has to fight, has to force players to come down here, forces Potato down, and then just whips around onto Jordberry. That feels awful if you're him, but not able to close that one out. Keenstar gets it. Now, this is the play Bala was talking about. So there's 3 uses of the turret right there to take over the box and gain control. You can use it as an immediate floor replace to get 1,000 HP floor there. And then you can also use it if you're Bizzle doing a no weapon qualifying challenge and getting 3 elims on it. Yep, go check out his Twitch channel. Great clip from that yesterday. Another great player showing up here, Lecce, using the high rate of fire on the tack. One of the few players we've seen opting into the rare tack, but sticking mainly with that drum gun, repping the controller gang. But right now, we might have the controller king himself. Issa has been putting on a clinic, finding the players in the rotations, and most importantly, getting the resources and the ammunition he then needs to continue furthering this strategy, making sure he can follow up with the medium bullets, making sure he uses his shadow bombs to correctly get ahead of the storm, and putting himself in positions to not only capitalize on those rotational eliminations, but also pick up victory royales.
Man, what an awesome day of action so far. Let's take a look at the standings together to see how things have shaken up since we last take a look. Issa's still on top with 8 games and now 65 points. Right behind him, though, after that game, Mr. Savageman coming up with 61, tied with Lecce for 61.
Yeah, so we're starting to actually see a little bit of a spread here from 65 down to 49. I'm not going to ask you to do that math. I know that's very difficult.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's a 16-point spread, though, which is realistically, we say about 15 is the 1-point game swing. That's either 8 elims in a top 5 or 5 elims in a victory royale. All of these players capable of doing more, but that would be a typical pop-off game for one of them. However, I just want to point out, Controller Gang repping right now. Issa, Lechi, both up there. And now really what starts to get interesting, because kind of Yarkos and above, if they keep the pace, they'll be pretty much in line for qualifying with only 1 or 2 games left. However, 5, 6, 7, 8, all of these guys in a row, 4-point spread from 53 to 49. Let's roll over to the second page, see who else is right in there. Because, I mean, the spread doesn't go that much farther down. 45, only another 4 points. And like we said, 15 to 16 being that striking distance. So, Mitro, right there. Nebi, right there. We've already seen them put up that many point games. Blacks, right behind them as well. So, it's going to come down to the wire.
Man, guys, this is the action that we've got today. This is insane. Please don't forget to use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Get involved. You just watched Mr. Savage pop off. I hope you're amped. We are. But we are going to have to go to a break. When we come back, we have more action for your eyes. Don't go anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the continued coverage here of the Fortnite World Cup qualifiers. We are in week 5. It's time for our top 3,000 in Europe to continue to compete. The games so far have been absolutely insane. I just got so many tweets about Mr. Savage's clutch right there to go from 9th to 2nd on the standings from an 18-point game, the best shadow bomb use I have seen yet in Fortnite Battle Royale. The games are still going, though. The queues are going to close soon, and we've got 2 great casters to continue the action for us. It's Pookie Face and Kitty Plays.
Courage, thank you for that introduction. I am so excited to get into these games. Right when we're getting to the end of these lobbies, you're finding the top point lobbies with these players. They've been working for months, training for this day, hopefully to qualify for those 6 spots for NAE. So I'm excited. Pokey, how you feeling?
I'm super excited. I'm just more into the games today. You know, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good, you know. Kitty, let's cast them.
Let's
go.
Yeah. Feeling good.
Feeling good.
Feeling
great. Feeling all of it. Also,
a little bit of ASMR with your mic there too at the end. All right, I see you. Oh,
here we go.
Okay, hello, Aragonists. Oh, we're not. Actually, we're in EU.
We're in EU. Did you say
yeah. We are just closing out. These are the final lobbies for Europe right now. Aragon, great book series. You know, here we are now watching him up in his perch, getting a really unique little peek out the corner here, opting to go for a very safe peek. But he is able to get a lay of the land. We are in the 5th zone. If you guys are just joining us, we are dropping in on the highest point lobbies for European region right now. And oh my gosh, lasers out of that silenced SMG. My God.
Yeah, definitely paying attention to what's going on around him. Super important in these final zones. Europe has only 12 minutes left for their game, so this might actually be one of his last ones. So we're gonna have to see how he kind of goes through. We were taking a look at the standings, you know, very, very close on leaderboards, top 20 right now. So we're gonna have to see how everything shakes out. You can see on the right-hand side of the screen there, the placement points as well as elimination points, how those are going to be distributed to our players today. And Aragon is just really utilizing the high ground there. Looking very good, looking very calm, looking very deliberate in his movements and his shots that he's taking. He looks good.
Yeah, definitely. And right now there's a special point in the game where all of these players really want to get in that top 25. If they're getting out of the top 25 with no eliminations, they've wasted so much time in this lobby. We also see Issa is in this lobby as well. We're going to come in on Strogo. He's got a great loadout, has the AR, no shotgun, but honestly, with the drum gun lately, a lot of these players have been opting not even to carry a shotgun. You don't really need it. Has those shadow bombs as well, no eliminations. So if Strogo was to go down right now before that 25-point placement mark, this would be a wash game for him. And right now when the points are this close, that is not something you want to have happen. You only have 10 games to play in this time limit, and he's perfectly positioned now in the center of the zone. They are going to be making a play towards the east now, more into the desert, but he's going to be needing to make a decision how he wants to rotate now with the zone coming up on him. Doesn't matter though, does get that really clean elimination and is going to go for that shadow bomb rotation. Already you see a player trying to get the loot on that elimination he just got. Is going to use both of them, so now he has no more moving forward into the rest of the rotations, but I'm sure he'll be fine.
You know, that's okay though. He positioned himself very well on the edge of that zone to catching kind of stragglers. You can see everybody there, very low HP coming towards him, so it does look like he does take a little bit of damage from another player there, but we are looking at Isa here, just completely lasering Joni with that drum gun. We've seen it so much today, Kitty. It's nice to see that the players are finally becoming a lot more comfortable. It looks as though we have a meta developing here.
Yeah, 100%. It's just amazing how accurate these players make the drum gun look. They are just beaming down people, and no close range shotgun needed. It's almost happens so quick that you don't even see the players have a chance to react to that. There you go. You see him get dropped down to 50 HP be there with another drum gun from another player. We also got Kinzel in this lobby, Pusher in this lobby, Smeef over in the corner. Lots of top tier players that we've heard about a lot over the past few weeks, all vying for one of those 6 spots available right now. This is the finals, or the final day of this qualifier. So only 6 of these 3,000 players that qualified yesterday will make it into tomorrow's games. Now we're spectating Rapid, by the way. He does have that 1 elimination, but only 5 shotgun shells in his shotgun, 33 in his drum gun clip. He's really going to need to utilize those to the best of his abilities.
And you can hear all of the players actually in the air. As I say that, Rapid just completely annihilates Kinzel, sends him packing right back to the lobby. But you can hear all of the players. It seems like we're on top of a vent right now. All of the redeploys going out. It's going to actually see right there. It looks as though these players are going to have to adjust to this very quickly. It may make rotations easier or difficult depending on where you are in the zone at any given moment. So we're going to have to see how these players adapt to that.
Yeah, I think at this point in the game, these players have had just enough time with Season 9 to know where these vents are, know how to plan for them, use them as a strategic advantage. And now we're checking out Issa again. He's got 190 shots in his drum gun, just looking and praying, but he has no more resources. He is doing whatever he can with the builds around him to stay alive. He does get caught off guard.
No.
Didn't see the edit coming out by Flapjack. It is so quick. These guys go down so fast to those drum guns. There was no time for him to react with the amount of health he had. He couldn't build. There was just no opportunity for him to make a change. Back to the lobby he goes, but we did see earlier he has a great amount of points moving into these games, and he'll get back into another one. But now we're spectating Flapjack. 1 elimination, has enough resources for this late game, gets a really clean couple tack shots onto that guy. I'm not sure who that was. Oh,
Web be me. Now, it's interesting because you see Flapjack here utilizing mobility just to get up to the high ground. He's building out of his mind right now. I'm not sure if he knows that Martine is on top of him. Takes some damage there. We have Krusty on top of him as well. We have 3 players up on high ground kind of vying for that ultimate position for this final zone. Now, we are slowly moving north to that small little white dot you see in the bottom right-hand corner of the mini-map. And we're going to have to see how these players shake up. Top 5 now, Kitty. So we have reached the next threshold for placement points. These guys have got to be feeling good right now.
Yep, top 5, and Martine has no access to any builds. He's doing the best he can. He used everything he had left to waterfall down. He does have the med kit. He's not going to have time to take it. He gets the elimination on his way down, gets a siphon, gets another elimination onto Krusty's. This is now a 1v1 situation between Oldies and Martine. I don't know if he picked up any of the resources. Oldies dropping down from the high ground, taking that fall damage. Martine was not able to get a tag on him, doesn't get that elimination, but he has got to be happy. 6 eliminations, victory royale, 16 points to his total going into the next game.
And you know what? He ended there with 50 points. That's got to feel good. You know, he did kind of slip up a couple seconds there for just a short moment, but he was able to regroup, pull himself back together, and just, you know, secure that victory royale. You'll love to see it, Kitty. We are here in the next game, 6.5 minutes, just over 6.5 minutes left.
These are the final
time.
games.
So this is going to be final. This is going to be it for these guys in Europe. So we're going to have to see if these games get more intense.
I just can't believe that Martine had enough confidence to drop off of that high ground, knowing that he was going to be eliminated if he didn't get that elimination. Getting that siphon, that was absolutely beautiful gameplay. We're now checking in with Lolboom. He does have the redeploy. We talked about this yesterday. A lot of players not opting for this as heavily as they did in weeks past, but people still are picking it up. It's great when you're holding that ultimate high ground. If you do get shot down, you don't have to worry about it. He does go for the trap. Doesn't quite get that player there next to him. He does manage to edit back out, and now looking to box up. He is within the zone. He's going to be safe, and now looking to take shots on anyone that's going to be rotating in, but he's getting focused in the next box.
Focus from the next box. There are still 39 players here, so we're moving very quickly into the next zone, and these players are vying for any real estate that is available right now. It looks like Lolboom has found himself a nice little box to camp up in, using the metal actually to his advantage to edit it so that he can peek out through it without having to expose himself to any of the players that are in his vicinity.
Yeah, game awareness and where everyone is around you is so important. And one of the advantages of holding this high ground like Smiley has here is the ability to see your opponents all around you and hopefully not take shots. There is someone that has a little bit higher positioning than him, so he will have to keep an eye out for that. Sitting on one
Savage.
elimination. Oh, Savage is in this game. Okay, absolutely.
Of course it's Savage up there.
Of
Like,
course
what were we
it's
thinking?
Savage. Yes, the master
Should have known.
at positioning and high ground and just overall everything. We've seen an outstanding gameplay for him, and he is playing his heart out today, trying to get one of those 8 positions for Europe to make it to the end of July World Cup finals.
And you can see it right there on the right-hand side, qualifiers per region. We've got Europe with 8, NA East with 6, NA West with 2, and Brazil, Asia, and Oceania with just 1 spot. So even though there are more spots in Europe than there are in the other regions, you can bet that this is very fierce competition, and these spots will have to be earned.
Definitely, and Boom taking advantage of the mid-range drum gun and getting that elimination. Now looking immediately to take any more shots he can on anyone. He's going to have to move. This is a moving zone. I didn't see any movement in his inventory other than this redeploy, which he is taking advantage of. No one contesting it, and a nice little community jump pad to drop on top of. We are heading down the mountain now, so you will see players that are on the ultimate high ground potentially waterfalling down just to make themselves a little bit safer. Leon Flair's going down there on the low ground. We got DDNL here, which is super low health, about 50, and Mr. Savage in here as well. Lots of players. We're going to check in with Mr. Savage right now, which only on 1 elimination, but there's still 32 people left in the lobby, and if we've seen anything over these past few games, is his ability to convert eliminations in those late games. Has so many shadow bombs to utilize on these rotations, and his timing's been perfect.
Yeah, and you can see here, I think he kind of made a little bit of a mistake there, not being able to get over that environmental wall, but he is using the side of this mountain to effectively hop up, take a little bit of extra high ground. Whoa, this perspective is kind of crazy, throwing me off. I didn't know we swapped to first person there for a second. But Savage again just showing, is there a shadow guy in his box? There is somebody in his box. No, I didn't even see him sneak in until the last second. And obviously Savage didn't either. Did Savage build around him?
He built around him. He went for the edit play, didn't see him because he had gone ghost form, and then pulled out a ghost form when Savage rotated his stairs and got that elimination. Hate to see it. Here we got Leitch. He just gets that elimination on to Lol Boom. He has 6 eliminations, a redeploy to work with. You'll see him try and take this ultimate high ground. He won't be penalized as much if this gets shot down right now. And during this rotation, a lot of players are not looking up. They're just looking to get any positioning they can while surviving that mid and low ground area. And this is a perfect opportunity for him to spray down with that drum gun and get any elimination he possibly can.
This is absolute chaos, Kitty. We still have 14 players alive in this circle. You can see the builds. It is pure builds. There is no free space at this point. You better be building. You better hope you still have materials left, because that is what you're going to need in this lobby right now to be able to secure yourself a victory royale.
Yeah, and we got the 2-minute timer now up on the bottom left corner. We are going to be seeing very soon who these EU qualifying players are. It's such an intense moment for these guys. They want a piece. They want to qualify. They want to be part. They want to have that bus ticket. They want to make a name for themselves. They've been practicing for months now. A few of them for over a year. Well, lots of them for over a year. And,
Kitty, we're going to be getting into years at this point. August is going to be years that some of these players may have been playing this game. So you can see that coming out. Rafla goes down there to Lechty and just completely.
Find him on TikTok.
Oh my goodness! All right, well.
7 eliminations by Lech. He does have this mid-ground, doesn't have the ultimate high like Cactus right now, but he still has so many resources to work with in these final moments. Is in a 1v1 situation. Y drops down, Ensu's down there. Lech gets that elimination. Now it's a 1v1 on the bottom. The Cactus still on that high ground, looking to waterfall down. Y does not have the health advantage, does get taken out by Cactus. Actually, from that high ground, Lech does not get that siphon. Now, Cactus with the health advantage is dropping down. Lech puts up those traps. Double traps.
Wow.
How many traps did this man place during that game? Oh my lord.
He's still at 2 in his
9
inventory.
eliminations. Absolutely insane gameplay coming out of Atlantis Leitch. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right. Come at me on Twitter and make sure that I pronounce that right, because we are going to be seeing a lot of you in the games to come and in the weeks to come. Incredible job.
Unbelievable. Now we're just going to get right into the next game. Kitty, look where we are.
Oh, I love these horizontal slipstreams. This is so much fun for these players. Well, not very much fun for these players. A lot of fun for me.
For us to watch, yeah.
Evil laugh. We got lots of players in here. We got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's it.
0. Europe has concluded. All of these players cannot queue again. This is the last games for everyone here. The last chance to qualify for those 8 spots available for Europe. They are punching their tickets to the World Cup finals end of July right now. And we're spectating Jack here. He's got a pretty good loadout. No drum gun. Does have those shadow bombs that he's definitely going to be utilizing for these rotations now. No eliminations yet, but in a lobby with 33 players still remaining, he is going to definitely find opportunities to get some. And right here with that silenced SMG, easily tracking his opponent through the map and getting that elimination. And just such a quiet gun. I mean, a lot of times you don't even know where it's coming from. All you have to do is look for the bullet lines, and even then, when you're in that chaos and getting focused by 2 players, it's super difficult on these individual players as well. We got Tixi in here, Hunter's in here, Marcus, Nork, Precious, so many names. No shotgun on Hunter, but he does have that drum gun in there.
Yeah, and you can definitely see, just to your point, when players are using the silenced SMG, and like you said, it is very chaotic, that player didn't even build a wall behind him. Because like you said, I don't even think he knew where the bullets were coming from at that point. When you're getting focused from one angle, and you've got silenced SMG bullets just hitting your box from the other side, it is so difficult to figure out where you're getting hit from. You essentially just have to start spinning in a circle and building like crazy to be able to defend yourself. But let's take a look here. We still have 32 players alive in this lobby. We are 7 eliminations away from, 6 eliminations away from the next placement. So Solary Hunter definitely just taking out one player there, looking for that opportunity and capitalizing on it. Is about to maybe look to just take some high ground here on the next rotation, land possibly on another player's builds. He misses it because the player builds a wall, is forced to kind of take middle ground there. Takes a little bit of damage.
Yeah, Hunter there, you see him at the middle of this screen now. We've got one of his teammates, Kinstar, in this lobby as well. Penzar hopping through here in a bush. We also got Jarkos in a bush. And now we're getting a nice aerial perspective. Coco does not have an ideal loadout right now, but does have opportunity to get that positioning, has lots of build, and we talked about this yesterday. If these players are not getting the loadout of their dreams, they're still going to do whatever they can with what they have, and at this skill level, they can make any quality of weapon work to their advantage and pick up those eliminations. And now we see him using that silenced SMG we were just talking about to easily track Helfig in at this storm and pick up that elimination. No legendary weapons, no problem.
No legendary weapons. Coming down to maybe about halfway on his build mark. But like you said, just these players being able to utilize any weapon effectively to their advantage. And all it takes, Kitty, is one. It takes one elimination. You have no idea what your opponent has in their inventory, and you can be right back in the game feeling comfortable again.
Never give up. And now we got Jarkos. Just has access to this drum gun. He's like, okay, this is the meta. This is all I need, boys. I've got a drum gun. I got a shadow bomb inventory. Lots of shield to be able to use after I get tagged in these rotations. Does only have one shadow bomb, so he's using it right now on the 7th rotation into the next zone. Does get caught in the storm in this box with that player. Isn't able to interact with it. Now puts down a wall, makes the edit play through, gets some great tags on the opponent. Isn't able to secure that elimination, but he's going to go up. He's going to hopefully get around and try and make enough another play on him. Was not able to fully break his box. We do see that stink grenade coming out on him. He still has that slurp ticking, making a rotation now to the southeast and finding a player. He smells blood. As soon as you see that white health damage, he's going to do whatever he can to break in and get that elimination. He knows he's weak. He knows he's trying to take shields, but takes shots from the side.
Oh my goodness, but still decides to turn around and follow through for that siphon. He knew at that point that he had to finish that player that he had gotten down to white damage in order to compensate for the shots that he had taken. So excellent play by him. He is down to very low health. He maybe only has 3 health, 2 health. He has 2 health right now, but he is sitting on 9 minis. He's going to use one of them right now. Try to break through. Is he going to get it? He does get it, Kitty.
Yes, one of the new updates that they've made now is if you spend a little bit of time in the storm, there is a delay before it starts ticking on you, so he is able to touch the zone without it doing damage to him, but he needs to be so careful right now. He can't get caught off guard at all, but there you go. POV de Coco gets that elimination and then goes right down to another player there. Average going down at the bottom. Exalti Robobs with the ultimate high ground right now, just raining those drum gun shots in on those 4 players down below. Tixi taking out Riki. All of these guys in such close coordinates, fighting it out with their weapons. Jack getting a really clean tactical shot. 2 clean attack shots on his opponents there. Now taking more fire from above. It's a 1v1 situation. He needs to do whatever he can to stay within this zone and block any oncoming fire. He did not pick up any shields, any form of healing. Right now, this is just a situation where he needs to shoot his opponent down in any way he can. Take those shots. He's got that shot. Oh, doesn't land anything. Robobs with the health advantage, dropping down and taking advantage with his shotgun, taking him out and securing that victory royale.
Only had 19 rounds left in his AR, but he said, you know what? Not going to risk it. I'm going to jump down and just use my shotgun, end this a clean way. Worked out for him.
Yep, he had seen that he had gotten a few of those eliminations down below. Didn't know that he did have the ultimate health advantage there, but does make a play for it, and it pays off, dropping out of that high ground. Now we're into another game, guys. We are catching all these final lobbies in the EU region. All of these players playing for one of the 8 spots available. We've got a little bit of that sky base here in this zone. Some players have been built up on it, and nice. You can find them on YouTube taking these really clean shots. Someone has been practicing their aim training before heading into these qualifiers today. Absolutely mental. This positioning up here so high on the high ground, able to take time and get those shots. We've got Maikaya, we've got Bunny, we've got Polaro, lots of new names in here and some old ones. And we're going to be checking right in here with Atlantis Astro. No shield on him right now. Does have that gray napkin, I call it. That's the gray tactical shotgun. It's literally like throwing a napkin at someone. Doesn't do as much damage as you expect it to ever. But actually at this level, you see players use it, and it looks like it could be a legendary tactical
It definitely
shotgun.
looks viable to them, but I'm feeling you. I think that's an us problem.
Oh,
I think.
ouch.
You know, okay, maybe it's a me problem. I don't want to throw you under the battle bus there, but I feel like, oh, he swapped it out for a green. So there we go. Perfect. He's sitting much prettier than he was just a few seconds ago. Picks up a few more bandages, maxes out his medal. So he's not looking too shabby. I would like to see him maybe try to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on around him, seeing if he could possibly get an elimination on a player.
The way that he's chosen to do his loadout, though, he has no assault rifle. And right now, in this moment, all these players are hanging on for dear life for those last 3 points they get for that top 25. And he's not going to be able to take any long-range shots like we saw earlier on Nice when he was able to take those really clean assault rifle shots on his opponent. So any opportunity he has with these medium to close range. But we're in that 6th zone with 44 players alive. These guys know that these are the final lobbies for them. They need to be hanging on, doing as much as they can to get as many placement points as possible and any elimination that comes through.
Yeah, exactly. Now, just to your point, what you said there, he doesn't have an AR. Now, we did see Nice just absolutely laser another player out of the sky, 2 headshots, and that is one disadvantage of just using a drum gun and close quarter combat loadout.
No idea.
Right there, Astro just does take out Polarl there with the drum gun, using the double pickaxes to, break through these builds, try to get a little bit of high ground. But the one thing that you're going to see with these players is when they are using the AR, they have first shot accuracy, Kitty.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it is going to help them.
First shot accuracy when they have this great of accuracy in general is absolutely so good to see. We're watching Blaster now picking up that quick elimination, and now turbo building against his opponent. He is going to have to move now. These are lots of moving zones coming in, and we're also going up the hill. We talked about this yesterday. This is a totally different style of rotation. These players need to be making clear decision making to be able to make it up this hill in time, use the least amount of resources as possible. Kalen here with a hunting rifle. We really don't see that very often. Must not have had the ideal drop to be able to get the weapons that he wants, but hasn't picked up an elimination yet, but there's plenty of time. Makes it into that top placement point. 24 players remaining in this lobby. Gets those placement points and that first elimination. And just like that, you were just talking about, it doesn't matter what you have, if you're able to convert that one elimination, now he's got that heavy sniper in his inventory. He drops down and gets a jump pad, which he's able to utilize. It's those quick decisions that you have to make. You have to play just with whatever you got, and when you get the new weapons, then you utilize that to the best of your ability, but not doing so great on resources right now.
No, definitely not. And you know what? I don't think a lot of these players are going to have a ton of resources. This zone literally moved from one side of that mountain, Kitty, up and over and down the other side. So now we have these players all kind of stuck in the same situation possibly with not very many builds, which means they're all going to be on a level playing field. We have a lot of players vying for the middle ground right there. We see that Kalen drops down, takes out Smoothie Boy with a very smooth shot with his tactical shotgun. We see these players just, feeling more and more comfortable with this. The pump is gone. We talked about that a lot yesterday. Season 9 came. They took a lot of weapons and things out of it. Yes.
Can we talk about that game awareness that Kalen just had? As soon as he saw where the zone was going, he immediately used 90s, built as high as he could, blanketed across this high ground to get the positioning that he has now, utilizing that assault rifle, raining down those shots. They were going up the hill. He knew it. He built up immediately. It was like he ignored everything else and got this high ground at the first opportunity, and it pays off in an immediate elimination.
Yeah, and it also put him in top 5 as well. Now top 3. Alilo falling down to Nolzy, and Kalen is going to recognize that there's only one more player left. He doesn't have any more builds though, Kitty.
No builds, and he's doing a bit of a storm gatekeeping, waits for him to come back in. Kalen getting that shot. We saw him with great weapons and no eliminations, just enough resources to get him to that next elimination. Absolutely outstanding play, guys. Just a reminder to everyone, never give up. Never know what's possible.
Hashtag never give up, Fortnite fam.
Never give up. But we talking about never giving up, courage.
Wow.
What a segue that was.
What a throw. That was brilliant right there. Thank you so much, ladies. Fantastic stuff. The action for Europe, the queues have obviously begun to close, but there's still more games we want to take a look at. I've got Bala here, who was in the backstage with the production team, looking up certain replays. You want to pull it up for the viewers at home.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about never giving up. These are the moments. These are the clutch ones. You've got to have big ones. Martin, the first player that we're going to take a look at. Look at his points right now, 45. He's got 4 eliminations, 44 eliminations in this game, no materials. And these are the moments that you're like, wow, did I really just pull that off? Because this could propel you. We saw, Sundown talked about it, Nate Hill and Funk Bomb last week had 2 back-to-back, like almost 20-point games. And these ones are going to be the ones that bring you up there, that can propel you up the leaderboards. Martin, calm, composed, cool, collected, everything. I mean, look at that. Rockets him up to 50 points. He had 16 points in that game. Again, queues are closed, but they could still be in their last game. So if he could have another one of these games, that could be it. That could push him up there with Letchi, Mr. Savage. Letchi right now. We saw him at first place the last times we took a look at the standings, and he's just really, really clinical in these close ranges with the tactical shotgun, but also with the traps. This is ridiculous. The reach that he has on this trap is insane. He's trying to place it on the normal non-player built floor, but instead he actually places it on the wall. Look how far that is.
My goodness.
The box away from him. So he's able to trap him there, and then he finishes it off too. I mean, Letchi, we've seen him before, we've seen him now. He's clutching up, and he could be going to New York based on these performances. This is a very standard, but look how he backs up out of the box so that he does not get sprayed down by that drum gun. Again, Letchi, huge performance, 19 points in that game. He's at the top of the leaderboard
80,
now.
if I'm not mistaken. 80 points, which was right at the top spot, dethroning Issa for the moment right there. But the biggest play that we think we've seen so far today. One of the most electrifying plays I've seen in Fortnite competitive history. Mr. Savage with the shadow bomb. We had to pull up some tweets because honestly, of anything that's happened at the Fortnite World Cup so far, I think I've seen the most chatter about this. I mean, look at everyone. That play for Mr. Savage was insane from Wadman.
What did I just watch?
Yeah.
Cherry?
I mean, the fact that it looked like there was no hope. He was getting boxed out. He wasn't able to get the height. And the next, he starts scaling the mountain. Everyone's jaws just drop right there. Mr. Savage with the brilliant performance. I know he's right on that bubble. Did he qualify? Did he not? We're going to have standings later on. Not now. You're going to want to stay tuned for that one. I think we've got more, though, of the Mother's Day tweets in celebration of this fantastic day for Mother's Day. I think we'll have them later, though. Oh, well, there they are.
Yes.
There they are. Okay.
I love it. I'm so happy.
Look at how cute. Kitty just said, that's me.
Ninja,
Thanks for
Angel. I know finals week 5 of Fortnite is going on today, but don't forget to at least give your mother a hug and wish her a happy Mother's Day. You got to do it.
See?
Oh,
and shout out to my dad for being 6'2" and not giving me any of his height. Thanks, Pops. So, yes, a great Mother's Day. Obviously, keep on sending on your photos of the hashtag Fortnite World Cup. But still a lot more action to come. I know that there is the final games on Europe that we'll be covering here, so I think it's time we send it back on over to our casters to close out the European region.
Thank you so much, Courage. I love to see all the tweets coming in for Mother's Day. It's warming my heart. But let's get right back into the chaos, Kitty.
Yeah, just a quick shout out to my mom. I know she watches everything I do ever. So yeah, Mom, you're awesome. Put you up on the big screen, this girl. All right, back into the games. I'm so excited to watch these final lobbies. If you guys are just joining us, the European region has closed. These are the final games with these players where they are really, really trying their heart out to make that qualification. There's 8 spots remaining for the World Cup at the end of July. If you look in that corner, we are watching the European right now. The Oceania and Asia has already concluded with 1 spot. Brazil will catch in later today with 1 spot. And then later in this afternoon, we've got NA East with 6 spots and NA West with 2 spots. We're watching Broad Melly. YouTube is where you can find them. And they've got that drum gun. They've got that tactical shotgun. They might have other things in their inventory. We know we've had a little bit of a spectator bug. If you're not able to see that right now, we'll have to see. Get some really clean shots. A nice headshot, smells blood, goes for the edit play, and gets it, taking out Masato. This is not good when you are a player in this position. You know it's your last game, your last chance to qualify, and you get taken out like that outside of that 25 placement mark. Not getting any points.
Not getting any points at all. It is unfortunate. You do hate to see it, but we're back to Lecce. Now, let's talk a little bit about last game for him. You know, he really showed us that he can be very, very thoughtful and very cognizant of what's going on around him. Oh, I love when they do this, using the edits, using that to just be able to get vision on their opponents before they actually make the edit fully and commit themselves to trying to shoot some bullets out. So it's just these things that you pick up for those of you watching at home, you know, that don't play at a competitive level, that are just like me, just like to have some fun with your friends. You know, using these small little tactics that you're picking up on stream from these competitive players can really help your game. And impress your friends, I mean.
Definitely, yeah. Impressing your friends being one of the cool things that you can do after watching these players. And Poggy, I just want to draw your attention. Atlantis Lecce has 83 points in this lobby right now. This is by far his final game, his last game to qualify. He is definitely one of the ones in the top 10, doing his best to get one of those top 8 spots right now. We don't know what the cutoff is until all of these games end. We'll be sharing that scoreboard with you guys after this, but just an insane job from him, already able to accumulate so many points. So every single elimination counts here. Every single placement point counts here. He's going to be having to play out of his mind to get that punched ticket to the World Cup event.
Definitely taking out Duxter there. Now, Kitty, I know it's going to be hard for him, and I know it's going to be really difficult to pull off with only 4 eliminations at this point, 26 players remaining in the lobby. I would love to see him break 100 points here. And he does it. He's at 87 now, so 13 points away from breaking 100. That would I don't want to jinx it anyway, but oh my goodness, he does escape there with, I did it. It was the caster curse. I'm sorry.
As soon as you start doing math and making it all about that, then you caster curse. But hopefully that will be enough for him to make it into the qualified rounds. We don't know exactly where all the points are at yet. Now we're spectating Brod Melly, who has 43 points, is going to have to pull off the game of a lifetime, eliminate the rest of the lobby and get that victory royale. Has that drum gun, has that tactical shotgun, and that legendary assault rifle. Only 17 bullets though in that assault rifle left, and a clip left in his drum gun. So doing whatever they can to get those eliminations, any trade they can get to pick up more ammunition to move forward into these final moments. 11 builds left, 2-1. Just like that.
Everything is against this player, Kitty.
That is how quick you see builds go at this level. When you're taking that tunneling style, you use so many resources, and going on the aggressive now, this is their only option. They need to get more resources to make this rotation, to be able to protect themselves from the other player. And you see that amazing job there. He goes for the break on that place, but instead of going for the immediate shot, he dodges out and saves himself that first shot, then goes back in and gets another shot. Same thing there onto Maxons. He is against the top of the top players in this lobby right now and just going absolutely insane. We got Wolfie EU, Chrono, and Thomas right on the top there. Slide Phil in there as well, and Itachi. This is the final moments of these final lobbies. 7 players remaining, every single one of them wanting every point they can get. This could mean the difference between them going to New York from this weekend or not.
And you can see Broadmel's inventory, even though he got those very 2 quick eliminations, he was not able to pick up any AR ammo at all. No medium bullets that he has found. So he is still sitting only on 22 in his drum gun, 17 in his car, but it doesn't matter because he uses his tactical shotgun to take out another player. He has an absolute tear right now, Kitty. He is tracking these players. Another player falls to Brod Melly, and now he's got 8 eliminations, 51 points, and the ammo and resources he is going to need to close out this game. It is a 1v1.
1v1 situation. Up on the top, Thomas trying his best to rebuild as Brod Melly is shooting him down, but unable to keep tarping out. And Brod Melly gets that fall elimination. 55 points after that round. He's got to be proud of that. We'll see later if that's enough to get him one of those qualifying spots. But man, these players are playing their heart out. They are so hungry for that spot on the bus at the end of July in New York City. I'm so excited for that event. And we got another game coming in, guys. This is one of the other top tier lobbies going on right now. We got Mitro in here. We've got Locos. We got Janice. We got Tyren. Go-Go's, by the way. So many top tier players. 42 still remaining in this lobby. We are coming in. If you're just joining us on the final moments of these games, all of the end games of the top point lobbies to be able to bring you the best action from these top tier European players.
Yeah, and Mito gets his kill stolen there by Coco. Suddenly just completely goes down, but he does pick up an elimination on DRG there. Not kind of too worried about it. He's got, you know, decent amount of ammo and materials to be able to, you know, just start to really pressure these players. Any damage you can do to them, anytime you can make them replace a wall, anytime you can kind of force them out of the position that you're currently in, that is a small victory. And all of these small victories will add up to your victory royale.
Wow,
and Sneak coming out with an excellent heavy snipe shot. That was quick reactions.
Yeah, you do not want to be on the other side of that, thinking that you are safe, going to make an early rotation and then finding a heavy sniper to the face. That's why it's so important that these players are utilizing things like the jump pads, like the shadow bombs, like the rifts to be able to prevent opportunities for these players to snipe you, because when you are at this level, the chances of anyone missing on you is so low. And you see Smeeth right away taking that jump pad into the new zone, getting that ultimate high ground position. Now he just gets to sit in his 1x1 and take shots at these rifted players. Anyone rotating into the new zone, this is a perfect opportunity for him to pick up some more eliminations.
Yeah, and just to your point, like you were saying, you know, having those rotational items, you know, the shadow bombs, the redeploys. I mean, a moving target is a hard target to hit, but not for these players. They rarely miss. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of tracking and the shots these guys hit all of the practice that they put in at this point, he's going to look to edit this cone down. I think he's going to try and take it. He owns the ceiling. He edited it through. He does drop the player down. And with 2 shots coming out of the rare tactical shotgun, he is able to secure the elimination. That puts him at
look
1.
at all those shields he's having to choose between now, too.
He's got all
and
the
a
shields
rift.
he could ever want.
Wow, absolutely.
Might as well pop the slurp at this
lad.
point. Might as well. You know, you can't really carry much more. I do like his loadout. He could possibly go for a rift swap with the big shield play here. That might not be too bad of an idea. Let's see if he does it.
Yep, that's exactly what he does. The zone is starting to move now to the north, and in these moving zones, it occupies an entirely new area. Every single player in this lobby needs to leave their 1x1, needs to make the push. The storm is ticking so much right now. You see Webb, B, Me going down to that zone. Nira now making the play with that shadow bomb. Doesn't have another one to follow it up all the way into the zone, so is going to take a pause here, look back on his opponents, potentially find an opportunity to use that RPG, and does, getting that shot onto Mads, and now getting focus from the north. He needs to make the push. The zone is right on his tail, gets shot out from underneath, able to continue to rebuild up, chance to take the minis right before he needs to move again, only able to take 1 mini now, sees his opponent there, sees the edit, makes a quick stair play, which prevents another shot from raining in on him, being very careful right now. You see Mitro at the center of your screen right now. He is, we're gonna pop right in. Yes, production, I love you. He's gonna pop right in. He's got 1 elimination right now, sitting on 55 points. Mitro is already qualified for the duos, but he would love to have a solo qualification right now. Remember, 8 spots remaining for these EU players. These are the final lobbies, the final moments in these top tier lobbies, sitting on 58 points now, just cresting through that top 25 placement mark, gets those 3 placement points, is carefully watching through that cone, looking for any play he can make. And no! Mitro! You're better than this. We know this. He does not make the edit play before he shadow bombs.
Is he gonna get through?
He does not make it through. 1 second earlier, he would have been fine if only he had gone for that early edit. You cannot interact with anything but doors as a shadow, and he is not able to get out of that. He was positioned to win. If that is what makes him not be able to qualify,
that's heartbreaking.
I feel sick to my stomach for him right now. I really, really hope his 55 points was, or 58 points because of that placement, was enough to qualify him. Now we're checking in with Fnatic Smeep. We saw him get that high ground earlier and that heavy sniper shot. He's sitting on 6 eliminations right now, and lo and behold, on that ultimate high, but he's going to have to protect it from these incoming players from the Rift, and does take out Payam. He's going absolutely insane with this drum gun.
Absolutely insane indeed. Still has that heavy sniper. He might need to utilize it at this point if there is a player that is trying to build up on top of him. It looks like he escapes it. Does get dropped all the way down to the bottom, but finds a player in his box and is able to just apply all of the pressure. Will he be able to take this player out? He is.
And utilize that campfire at the same time. Top 5 situation now. Only 5 players remaining. 8 eliminations on him. We've got Recon, who took that high ground away from Smeeth. Excite on the mid ground. Grim on the mid ground. And Kluja on that low. Smeeth reloading that heavy sniper. This is such an important weapon in these final moments. Able to burst through those walls and catch your opponents off guard and get that elimination. You see him now raining down these drum gun shots with great accuracy onto Kluja, getting that elimination, and Grim jumping into his 1x1. Doesn't flinch for a second. Smeeth now sitting on 10 eliminations, reloading that drum gun. It is so important in these final moments. No shotgun, so this is what he's going to rely on for these close encounters. Another opponent, Recon, dropping into his 1x1. Again, doesn't flinch, pops out his drum gun and takes him out. Gets a nice little RPG gift, taking this high ground. This is his game to win. Smeeth sitting on the high ground, 3 rockets. He's going to have to use these to the best of his abilities, getting a clean little keyhole shot through there, dropping down with the drum gun, getting clean shots onto Excite. Smeeth taking that victory royale, 64 points on that leaderboard for his final game. Absolutely insane. I still can't believe what happened to Mitro there. Like, I'm sending so much love towards you right now, man. And for everyone watching, we've seen these players now, when you're using that shadow bomb, just so you know, you cannot edit out of your box. You need to be placing a door and editing a door that you can then interact with as a shadow if you're going to get out in time for that storm to be moving. And unfortunately, just 1 second of time would have been the saving grace for him. Now we're into another game. We've got Johnny. Boogie, take this away. I got way too excited there. I talked a lot.
Like, Kitty, you gotta breathe. You're gonna need a second there. All right, so we've got Johnny here, like Kitty said, just really using again the metal to be able to peek through. The metal doesn't, it rebuilds very slowly, so you have some time there to get vision on your opponents. And he's using the heavy sniper, only has 9 rounds. It looks as though, Kitty, ammo has really been a recurring issue for a lot of these players. It seems as though every time we kind of hop in and focus on one of them, their ammo situation